clock that was ticking in my home. Changed my state of mind.
Ladies and
Love's
gentlemen,
so hard to find.
you got him.
Your changed like the weather.
Hello, you pillow people. Welcome back to another episode of Pillowcast. And, yeah, there's a little bit of an echo in here. I'm not entirely sure why, but... Alright, so pretty much this is kind of a little comeback episode in a way. Because if you guys are not familiar, we have not had a normal episode since September. And it is now, at the time that I'm recording this, December 15th of 2019. So the year is almost over. And this podcast has not been active. We've had, breaks in between. The show used to be called Pillowcast with Lane and Hunter, and it was me and my friend Hunter just talking about things. We reviewed albums, we talked about our life and stuff, and it was overall just a little experiment I was trying. And we eventually just didn't get around to recording as many. Hunter didn't want to do them, and I was just trying to be consistent with it. But he has a lot of other things in his personal life going on, and he's not able to record. So, since I'm always just available to record videos whenever I'm bored or whatever, and since my YouTube channel has recently been discontinued, I figure I should bring this back. I think it'll be fun just for me to do my own stuff. Season 1, this is still Season 1 as at the recording of this. This is a very unorganized season. There's been a lot of stuff happening. But hopefully maybe we can wrap this season up by the end of the year, get our 30 episodes in like the original game plan was. And yeah, this is an old episode that you guys are going to be hearing today. This was recorded in like summer, like June, July. And you can hear me say that this was supposed to be episode 8, which if you guys don't know was the second collaboration episode originally. And this is just going to be, I say it's episode 8, but it's actually not. It's going to be episode 21 now. So when I say that, just pretend that I'm saying episode 8. And it's going to be, kind of the same thing that I did with Green Day's God's Favorite Band. It's going to be my revised edition of the Prince Forever compilation. And yeah, so that is that. And that's pretty much going to be what this is. Hopefully, again, we might be able to finish out this season in 15 days left in the year. So maybe we can finish the season. And it'll be really cool. We might have a collab episode every now and then. And yeah, so before we jump into this, again, Escapism, my Michael Jackson podcast. It is now back. It is rebranded. It is a review show about Michael Jackson. Haven't done one of those since October, but I am planning on getting Landon from the channel. Landon does stuff and Zeno MJ. Oh, sorry, Zeno does stuff and Zeno MJ on YouTube. We're gonna be talking about the Michael Jackson track "Blood on the Dance Floor." So that's gonna be really cool to do, and yeah, I'm definitely looking to continue that show as well. It's gonna be a blast. It's gonna be really fun. And yeah, I've done a few other things in the span of doing this podcast. I did the podcast with the host of the History in the Mix YouTube show, JD. We did the podcast with him. I did the podcast with him. The Submarine That's Yellow show. We talked about the Beatles song This Boy, and it was a really good experience, and you guys should definitely go listen. So I'll put the links to the Escapism podcast and the Submarine That's Yellow podcast down below. And I do plan on bringing back the Lost Crackmaster short, the little series that I started. And I'm planning on bringing that back. I haven't gotten a lot of time to work on the book, mainly because of this. Because with me with books, I usually don't finish them ever. So there's that. And I've also been working on guitar a lot more recently. And not the Prince song that we'll be talking about, but just actually playing guitar. You might have heard in episode 18 or whatever, me and Hunter were like kind of screwing around on guitar and stuff, and I've been practicing a lot, and so I've been focusing a lot on that. School started back up again recently, so definitely focusing a little bit more on that and stuff. And so this podcast hasn't really been as active as I want it to be, but I figured the year's almost over. I don't want to discontinue this. I want this to be a really good, fun thing for me to do when I'm bored, and we'll have guests on again. It'll be a little fun thing, but again, this season has just been a mess. It really has. I've just been really, it sucks. It really does. That it hasn't been as consistent, and the vision for this show hasn't really gone in the direction that I've wanted it to. But this just kind of started out as a show for me to just kind of screw around and do whatever the heck I want to do and whatever I feel I want to do when I'm bored. And again, like I said, it hasn't really taken off in the direction that I wanted it to. The consistency on this show, especially in this season, has been outrageous. We've had so many theme changes, title changes, picture changes. I brought back the original artwork with me in the light. Yeah, so I do have something planned for the end of every episode, for end of every season, which I already talked about it, but the Pillow Playlists idea, which I will be doing a video about. I might get Hunter back for the last episode, and we could do that, the Pillow Playlists, but if not, I'll just talk about the playlist itself, and maybe, and yeah, so again, this is just going to be a little thing. The show is back, and yeah, enjoy this little lost episode. And yeah, thank you guys for listening. After the season, we might have some unreleased bonus episodes coming out, but this was originally going to be a bonus episode, but I figured it'll be a cool little thing to add for the comeback. So listen to this. Let's hear what you guys think of this, and yeah, just kind of getting the show off the ground. I'm probably gonna have to try to get a new intro, make an intro for the podcast, because for the longest time it's just been that meme that I found online, and I thought it was funny. So it is now the podcast name, the intro. But I am gonna be changing it. Maybe in the middle of the season, who knows, but whatever. I'm currently walking on the bed right now, and all these boards are really creaky and shaky, and I don't like it. But anyways, make sure to, I don't know if I say this in the episode or not, so I'm going to say it right here. Make sure to follow the podcast on Apple and Spotify. Spotify has the pictures, so I requested Spotify, but, it's all good. And, yeah, again, I'm really kind of rambling, but, oh, crap, it just cracked. Well, that's fun. Anyways, enjoy the episode, and tell me what you guys think of the Forever Done Imagined thing. And, yeah, appreciate you guys listening, and, peace out. Hello, all you pillow people. Welcome to another episode of Pillowcast. And today's episode 8, and before we get right into this, I just want to say, if the audio sounds a little bit weird, if it sounds higher quality than usual, it sounds lower quality than usual, it's probably, I cannot speak today, it's like 12 o'clock at midnight. But if it sounds like that, the reason is because I got a brand new iPhone XS, and that's the reason that it sounds like that. I got a new phone, I'm still adjusting, so, if it sounds weird, I'm sorry for that. But today we're going to be doing another regular episode in between the little Crack Monster cartoon episodes. Today we're going to be doing another episode that was kind of in the style of my Green Day episode, and it's going to be Prince's Forever, the compilation Forever, revised, made better. It's not that good. It's not arranged well, if that makes any sense. So what we're going to be doing is I'm just going to be showing you guys my revised version of Forever, what I would have put on it, what kind of tracks are going to be on it, and overall just give you guys an overall idea of what I would have wanted Forever to be. So the tracks on the official version of Forever, we have 1999, Little Red Corvette, When Doves Cry, Let's Go Crazy, Raspberry Beret, I Wanna Be Your Lover, Soft and Wet, Why You Wanna Treat Me So Bad, Uptown, When You Were Mine, Head, Gotta Stop Messing Around, Controversy, Let's Work, Delirious, I Would Die For You, Take Me With You, Paisley Park, Pop Life, Purple Rain, Kiss, Sign of the Times, Alphabet Street, Bat Dance, Thieves in the Temple, Cream, Mountains, Girls and Boys, If I Was Your Girlfriend, You Got the Look, I Could Never Take the Place of Your Man, Glam Slam, Moonbeam Levels, Diamonds and Pearls, Get Off, Sexy MF, My Name is Prince, 7, Peach, and Nothing Compares to You, the live version. So I'm going to be kind of going through what my version of Forever is. And before I get into this, I want to say that my version of Forever is a chronological journey. It goes from 1978, when For You came out, all the way to the end of his life, all the way to Hit and Run Phase 2. And then the last song, which I'll be telling you guys why I chose the last song in a bit. Because it's ridiculous that wasn't featured on the actual album. But anyways, so I'm going to be going through the tracks, and I'm just going to be kind of talking about what I would have gotten rid of. First of all, my compilation also has the same amount of songs. It has the same amount, 40 songs. I wanted to keep it the same amount for this one. I didn't for God's Favorite Band, but for this time, I actually want to keep it the same length. So, 1999, no problem with that. I would have kept that on there. Little Red Corvette, obviously, I would have put that on there. When Doves Cry, Let's Go Crazy, Raspberry Beret, I Wanna Be Your Lovers, and Soft and Wet, I would have all put on there. Why You Wanna Treat Me So Bad, I would have gotten rid of. I wouldn't have put that on there. I just feel like it's a strange song from his second album, Prince, to put on there. I don't understand why you would put that on there. Uptown, I would definitely put that on there. When You Were Mine, I would definitely put that on there. Head, I would put that on there. Gotta Stop Messing Around, that's a B-side. And in my entire album, I think I only have about one B-side. Out of my entire album, I think I have like one B-side. And so, I believe that this is the only B-side on here. So I, of course, included one B-side as well. And the one that they chose was Gotta Stop Messing Around. But there's so many other great B-sides that they could have chose. Erotic City, Shockadelica. There's just so many great B-sides that they could have chosen. But all of them, they choose that. I don't really like that. Controversy, all the way. Let's Work. Not one of my favorite songs off the Controversy album. I never really liked that, so Let's Work. I probably wouldn't put that on there. Delirious. That's the thing. It's kind of a pick and choose whether you put Delirious on there or not. I personally didn't put Delirious on, but that's just how I did it. I just didn't put Delirious on there. I Would Die For You and Take Me With You. Again, same thing with Delirious. You can put them on. I just chose not to. Paisley Park and Pop Life. I would not have put those on there. I guess maybe Paisley Park, but I didn't put that on there. Purple Rain, of course. Kiss. Yes. Sign of the Times, Alphabet Street, Bat Dance, Thieves in the Temple, and Cream. Yes. Put all those on there. Mountains. Again, that's another one kind of like Delirious. I may or may not have put that on there. I just chose not to put it on there. Girls and Boys. No. Don't put that on there. If I Was Your Girlfriend. That was a really close call for me. I almost put that on my version. I might actually... No, I never put it on. I didn't put it on. I wish I would have had enough room to put it on, but I didn't. But that's one of my favorite songs of Prince, by Prince. It's one of my favorite songs of Sign of the Times, so I probably would have put that on there if I could. You Got the Look, all the way. I Could Never Take the Place of Your Man, all the way. Although I didn't put it on my version because I didn't have enough room, but I definitely would have put that on there. Glam Slam, Moonbeam Levels, and no, I wouldn't put those on there. Diamonds and Pearls, yes. Get Off, yes. Sexy MF, yes. My Name is Prince, yes. 7, yes. Peach. I think that's a newer track. I think it was from like the B-sides, the hits and the B-sides. I don't know. I think that might be where it's from. And Nothing Compares to You. They put the live version on here, but I actually chose the studio version. So I'm going to be telling you guys my version of Forever. I'm going to be telling you guys what my track listing is. And yeah, so I want to show you guys first of all. With the tracks, I didn't put any single versions. I didn't put any shortened down versions. I went with the album versions of the tracks. I went with the tracks the way that Prince intended the songs to sound. So, no shortened versions, no edited versions, just the song. Purple Rain is not cut down to 4 minutes. It's the extended 8-minute version. Controversy is 7 minutes long. All the songs are the original lengths that they were on the albums. And that's how I would have included that. So, yeah, another thing that I want to point out is that Forever doesn't really go past Love Symbol. It really doesn't. That's the farthest that the album goes. I go beyond Love Symbol. I go all the way to the end of his life. And I don't know why they didn't put any of his later work on there, because songs like Musicology, Gold, all sorts of stuff that could have been added. And they didn't put anything on there after that, so it's just weird. So my Forever, again, is like a chronological journey. My version is 3 hours and 18 minutes long. The official version is 2 hours and 35. Here's my track listing. It starts off with Prince's first hit, Soft and Wet. It wasn't a huge hit, but it definitely broke him out into the mainstream with his first album, For You. Definitely, that has to be on there. I Want to Be Your Lover, the album version. Again, all these songs are album versions. I Want to Be Your Lover, one of Prince's bigger hits. Prince's basically first mainstream hit. Really got him noticed by the main media. That has to be on there. I Feel For You, again, a very, very notable track off of the sophomore album Prince, and also it was covered by Chaka Khan, so it's very well known song, and I definitely would have put that on there. Dirty Mind. The thing is, I chose 4 songs from Dirty Mind, which I don't know if anyone else would have done that. I don't know if that's a little overload. I think that's the most songs from one album on here. But we have Dirty Mind, which obviously has to be on there. That's one of the more iconic earlier songs pre-Purple Rain. When You Were Mine, again, really good song, one of the best on Dirty Mind. I figured that had to be on there. Uptown was going to get on no matter what. That was one of the singles from the album, and definitely one of the more well-known songs. And Head was already on. When You Were Mine and Head were both on Forever, and I really, really like them songs as well, so I figured to stick them on. The only song from Controversy was the title track, Controversy. I was considering putting Do Me Baby on here, but I figured, nah, I didn't have enough room for it. First of all, and there were a whole lot of other songs that I wanted to include. Do Me Baby is one of my favorite Prince songs ever, probably my second, third favorite Prince song of all time. Right behind Damn You, my favorite Prince song of all time. That's such a beautiful song, and I almost put it on here just because of how much I love it, but I decided to veer more towards the more critically acclaimed songs, except for my last pick, and we'll get into that in a second. But, yeah, I only chose one song from Controversy. I went with the title track, Controversy. 1999, that has to be on there. That was Prince's first major album. That album broke him into the mainstream, had a ton of hits. 1999, Little Red Corvette and Delirious. So many amazing songs. So I also put Little Red Corvette on here, the full version. All the songs on here are full versions. I chose 4 songs from Purple Rain. I chose Let's Go Crazy, obviously. Erotic City, which is the B-side to Let's Go Crazy, and probably one of Prince's most notable B-sides. So I decided to stick that on there. Because Forever had a B-side on it, and it was Don't Stop Messing Around, so I figured I'm going to put on Erotic City. That's my B-side. When Doves Cry has to be on there. Purple Rain, undoubtedly, you have to put that on there. Nothing Compares to You. I put the studio track because the Prince Estate released Nothing Compares to You in 2018, the studio track, and I think it would have been cool to have the studio track on Forever and release it in 2016. That's me. On one song, only one song from Around the World in a Day, Raspberry Beret. That's one of Prince's biggest songs, has to be on there. Kiss, obviously, have to put that on there. One of Prince's biggest songs as well. 3 songs from Sign of the Times. Again, I almost put on If It Was Your Girlfriend, I Could Never Take the Place of Your Man. I decided not to. I went with the song Sign of the Times, one of the Prince's most political songs, and one of Prince's most important songs as well. You Got the Look, one of Prince's bigger hits off that album. And The Door, one of Prince's most well-known love songs, and one of his best written love songs of all time. Only one song from Love Sexy. I chose Alphabet Street, Bat Dance from Batman. That was the only non-soundtrack song from the Batman soundtrack, and I think that I chose the full version, not the edited version, because the full version is, as we all know, is way better. But, that's just what I chose, and it's the most notable song off the album. Thieves in the Temple from Graffiti Bridge, again, one of the more well-known songs off that album. I almost went with either Tick Tick Bang or A New Power Generation, but I decided to nix those and put Thieves in the Temple. 3 songs from Diamonds and Pearls, one of Prince's biggest selling albums. Diamonds and Pearls, the title track. Cream, one of Prince's biggest songs. And Get Off, another pretty big hit for Prince. 3 songs from Love Symbol. We have My Name is Prince, one of the better songs off that album. Sexy MF, that was the lead-off single, I believe, from Love Symbol, so it has to be on there. And Seven was one of the bigger songs off that. So, this is where their official Forever ends. No more songs after Love Symbol. I chose all these songs after. We have 11 songs here. So after 7, we have Gold, from The Gold Experience, one of my favorite Prince songs, probably my second favorite Prince song, and Controversy is at 3rd. Damn You is number 1, again, like I said. See, with artists that I like, it's hard to, pinpoint exactly where I want to put a certain song. So, my list always changes. But that's how it is right now. Chaos and Disorder from the album Chaos and Disorder. Title track. I just figured to put that on there. Jam of the Year from Emancipation. That was the name of his tour during the time. Figured I put that on there. And it's the title. And it's the first song they hear off the album. So, And title track Emancipation. The Greatest Romance Ever Sold from Raven to the Joy Fantastic. That's what I stuck on there. I believe it was one of the lead-off singles from that album and one of the more well-known songs. Musicology from the album Musicology, one of Prince's biggest comeback albums and one of his bigger hits. Black Sweat from 3121, again, one of the more well-known songs. Two songs from Planet Earth, the title track Planet Earth and Guitar, again, one of the more well-known songs off of Planet Earth. Stare, which was on his last album, Hit and Run Phase 2. And then finally, I'm ending the album with a very, very obscure song called Forever, which is off of the album Lotus Flower. I had to put Forever, the song Forever, on this album. First of all, it's this beautiful song. It's definitely one of my favorite Prince songs. And I always thought it deserved a place on Forever. Not just the title, obviously, but also just because of the fact that it's just such a good song. I love Prince's vocals on it. And overall, it's just an amazing track. And I don't know, one of the more obscure songs. I wanted to have at least a few obscure songs on here. And I think he did a pretty good job of that. But yeah, so that is my revised version of Forever. Again, the tracks that I chose: Soft and Wet, I Want to Be Your Lover, I Feel For You, Dirty Mind, When You're Mine, Uptown, Head, Controversy, 1999, Little Red Corvette, Let's Go Crazy, Erotic City, When Doves Cry, Purple Rain, Nothing Compares to You, Raspberry Beret, Kiss, Sign of the Times, You Got the Look, Adore, Alphabet Street, Batman, Batdance, Thieves in the Temple, Diamonds and Pearls, Cream, Get Off, My Name is Prince, Sexy MF, Seven, Gold, Chaos and Disorder, Jam of the Year, Emancipation, The Greatest Romance Ever Sold, Musicology, Black Sweat, Planet Earth, Guitar, Stare, and Forever. So yeah, guys, that is another episode of Pillowcast. Stay fluffy. Make sure you guys keep on enjoying the show. I know I'm definitely enjoying it. Make sure to look out for a new episode of the Missing Crack cartoon. Episode 3 is going to be coming out soon whenever I write it. Yeah, so again, thank you guys so much for listening, and peace out. Stay fluffy.